Welcome to Zoe Stories. They made me dress like a girl to win a challenge. My name is Jake, and I'm just a regular 21-year-old college student. Nothing special, really. I've never been the kind of guy who stands out. No amazing talent, no quirky personality, no wild ambition to do something extraordinary. I keep to myself, mostly hanging out with my friends, going through the motions of college life. My days are filled with lectures, late-night study sessions, and occasional moments of chaos, like that one Friday night that changed everything. It all started at our usual hangout, a dingy bar near campus, where the neon lights flickered above our heads as laughter echoed off the walls. The drinks flowed freely, and the jokes kept coming, each one getting wilder than the last. But then Marcus, my best friend since freshman year, threw out a challenge that would push me way out of my comfort zone. "You should dress like a girl to win the bet," he said with a mischievous grin. For a second, I froze. The room went silent as everyone turned to look at me, waiting for my response. Was he serious? I looked at him, trying to process what he was asking. It wasn't like I'd never been dared to do something stupid before, but this felt different. Dressing like a girl? My mind started racing. What would that even look like? What would my friends think? What would I think? The moment stretched on, my heart pounding. But then I realized something. If I backed out now, I'd never hear the end of it. I'd become the guy who couldn't take a joke. So, I swallowed my hesitation, took a deep breath, and blurted out, "Okay." And just like that, the challenge was set. It seemed easy at the time, just wear a dress, walk around for a bit, and then go back to normal. But as soon as I left the bar that night, I couldn't shake the weight of what I'd agreed to. Dressing up as a girl was one thing. Actually doing it in front of people was a whole different beast. I wasn't the type to draw attention to myself. I was an average guy, jeans and t-shirts, nothing special. I wasn't comfortable with being the center of attention. And this was a whole new level of exposure. As the days passed, the challenge began to eat at me. Every time I thought about it, my stomach churned with anxiety. How was I supposed to pull this off? What would people think when they saw me in a skirt, heels, and makeup? The more I thought about it, the less I wanted to do it. But then I'd think about my friends and how I couldn't back down without looking weak. They'd all make fun of me for being a coward. And I couldn't stand the idea of that. "Jake, you're gonna rock it," Marcus had said, trying to ease my worries when I expressed doubts. "It's just a joke, man. Don't overthink it." But deep down, I wasn't just worried about looking ridiculous. There was something else gnawing at me. What if I liked it? What if there was something in this experience that I didn't expect? The thought terrified me. Would I change after this? Would I start questioning who I was, what I liked, and how I saw myself? Could something as simple as a bet really make me reconsider everything I thought I knew about myself? I didn't have answers to any of those questions. But one thing was clear. There was no turning back. I had agreed, and now I had to follow through. It wasn't just about completing the challenge. It was about proving something to my friends. Or maybe, just maybe, it was about proving something to myself. The night before the challenge, I couldn't sleep. My mind was a whirlpool of anxiety. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined myself out there, walking around in public, everyone staring at me, laughing at me. I had never felt so exposed in my life. I met with Marcus and the others to go over the details of the challenge. We joked and laughed, but inside I was a bundle of nerves. The more we talked about it, the less confident I felt. The rules were simple. Walk around for an hour, gather as many compliments as possible, and then meet back at the bar. But even as they joked about it, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was something bigger than just a prank. There was more at play here, something I couldn't quite articulate. Later that evening, I found myself sitting in front of my mirror, staring at the outfit I'd been given. It was a tight skirt, a delicate blouse, and heels that looked ridiculously high. The makeup kit lay beside me, untouched. I had no idea how to use any of it. Sure, I'd seen girls apply makeup before, but I'd never done it myself. Where did I even start? Was it okay to wear this much? Or was I going too far? I picked up the mascara, then set it down. My hands were shaking. I glanced at the clock. I still had time to back out. I texted Marcus. Do you really think I can do this? He replied almost immediately.
Come on, man.
You'll be fine. It's just for fun. No big deal. But his words didn't reassure me. It wasn't about the fun. It wasn't just about winning the challenge. I didn't even care about the prize anymore. It was about what I was about to reveal to myself. What if I felt something unexpected? What if this opened a door I wasn't prepared to walk through? I couldn't stop thinking about it. I didn't know if I was ready, but I knew I had to do this. I had no choice. The morning of the challenge arrived, and I barely got any sleep. My nerves were shot, my heart racing in my chest. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror, staring at the reflection of a guy who seemed like a stranger to me now. This wasn't Jake anymore. This was someone else, someone I didn't recognize. I knew what I had to do, but just the thought of it sent a wave of panic through me. What if I was making a huge mistake? What if this was going to change everything? With a deep breath, I picked up the makeup kit. The foundation went on first, carefully, as if I was afraid I'd mess it up. My hands trembled as I applied mascara, then eyeliner, trying to make my face look, well, feminine. The whole process felt foreign, like I was wearing a mask. But the more I worked, the more the mirror seemed to reflect someone new. Someone I didn't recognize. I barely recognized myself. I slipped into the skirt, the blouse fitting a bit too snugly, hugging parts of me I wasn't used to being aware of. The heels were the final step, shaky, unfamiliar, but somehow they felt like the finishing touch. Okay, I whispered to myself, let's do this. The nerves were overwhelming, but I couldn't back out now. When I stepped outside my apartment, I felt like I had stepped into a new world, one where nothing was the same. The heels clicked beneath me, each step making me more aware of how exposed I was. I could feel the eyes of passers-by on me, some curious, some confused, but most just too busy to care. At first, I kept my head down, avoiding eye contact. I didn't want to draw attention. But then, as I walked further, something unexpected started to happen. A strange sense of freedom washed over me. For the first time, I wasn't just blending in, I was standing out. I was being seen, and for some reason, it felt empowering. I walked past a group of students, and one of them complimented me on my dress. I wasn't sure how to respond, but I managed to smile, and for the first time, I didn't feel like I was just trying to hide behind a mask. I was, in a strange way, embracing it. Embracing who I was becoming, even if I wasn't sure what that meant yet. As I moved through the streets, I began to notice how differently people treated me. They looked at me, not as Jake, but as this new version of me. It was disorienting, but also thrilling. I wasn't just Jake, the average college student anymore. I was someone else. Someone with a different kind of power. And I couldn't help but wonder, was I still the same person inside? When I met up with Marcus and the others at the bar, the reactions were mixed. Laughter, cheers, and a few raised eyebrows. But then Marcus pulled me aside, away from the group. Jake, he said, his voice quieter now, you look incredible. I blinked, unsure of what to say. What do you mean? I mean, you've got something here, Marcus continued, looking me over. It's more than just a bet. You've got this confidence now. You're not just pretending. This is you. His words hit me like a wave. Something in me shifted. He was right. I wasn't just going through the motions anymore. I wasn't just dressing up for a joke. I was discovering something about myself, something that felt more authentic than anything I had ever felt before. I didn't expect this, I admitted, my voice shaking a little. I didn't think it would feel so real. Marcus smiled. Maybe it's time to stop pretending, Jake. As I sat there, sipping my drink, I realized that this wasn't just about a bet anymore. It was about something deeper, something I didn't fully understand yet, but was willing to explore. Over the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about what Marcus had said. Maybe it's time to stop pretending. What if he was right? What if this was who I was, in some way? Maybe this wasn't just a phase or a silly bet. Maybe this was the beginning of something new, something that would change me forever. The challenge was over, but I didn't want to go back to the way things were. I wasn't sure where this new journey would take me, but for the first time, I felt like I was actually starting to understand myself. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't afraid of that. Thank you for joining us on another captivating journey through Zoe's stories. Remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale. Until next time, keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep believing in the magic of storytelling. See you in the next chapter.